How do you humble brag as a woman? Because just stating facts makes you be perceived as bragging, which is inappropriate for a lady. I hear you, and I'll give you a framework that I mentioned in my book, which I'll link to this video. But I'll give the caveat that without knowing you, what you've tried, what industry you're in, what your culture is like, I can't advise you personally like I could a coaching client. I'll get technical for a second, but then I'm going to zoom out, okay? Not knowing anything about you, we're going to talk about how the basis of stereotypes. Stereotypes are often based on two main constructs: how warm or cold you're expected to be and how competent you're expected to be. This does not mean how you really are. It just means the stereotype. Women are generally, there are some race interactions, generally expected to be warm and incompetent. I know. Poor people are expected to also be incompetent. There are fewer warmth perceptions. Now again, there's intersections. It's not a perfect framework because as my work would show you on class, the experiences of women who are poor or women of color who are poor, then it gets more complicated. Women are usually expected to be perceived as warm, and also our gender role is usually we're supposed to be expected as communal, not agentic. Agentic is decisive, ambitious, what are considered leadership qualities. Communal are being other-oriented, kind, nurturing. So when women say anything that promotes themselves, it goes against the communal stereotype. But then, if women fit into the communal stereotype, they don't fit into the leadership stereotype, and this is called the double bind. I work with people from working class backgrounds. Working class people also tend to be more interdependent. One of the unwritten rules of work as you move up is they're more individualistic. So this is often a double bind for people who grew up sharing resources because they were limited to then all of a sudden talk about I instead of we. So there's lots of different things going on there that can influence your stereotype and the culture you grew up in. What do you do about this? So I just wrote a book about my last 9 years of research on the unwritten rules of work for the working class and neurodivergence. And I talk about race and gender intersections in each chapter as well. And I have recommendations at the end of each chapter for every unwritten rule for staff, people leaders, and HR. And in the unwritten rule of individualism chapter, I recommend cultural blending, which is where you blend the I and the we. You're in an interview and they ask you about a job and you answer individualistically, you would say, I am so proud of the work that I did and I led this team. It's a very upper middle class, white man answer. The more working class or expected of women or people of color, the communal would be, we did a great job on this project. But in an individualistic environment, they're going to see that and go, oh, so you didn't do anything. You were just a freeloader. But if you're a woman, well, you were expected to. So it's that double bind. So I encourage people to blend. I am so proud of the team that I led. We did a great job on X outcomes. Or make it like you're bragging about someone else. I'm gonna have to brag about my team here. They were really fabulous to work with and we were really effective in delivering this project to our client. I developed the plan for X, Y, Z and we accomplished it together and had this result. This is a lot of emotional labor. It's a lot of additional labor. That's also an unwritten rule I talk about in this book, the unwritten rule of additional labor. Based on my research, my experience, and other research, that is where I recommend you start. Now, for anyone watching this who's like, damn, I need more help, or what about my specific situation? I do coaching. I have a coaching program. It has 6 different parts. You can do them all together. You can do them a la carte. Bring your own focus that you want to, but one of these modules is number 3, module 3, navigating being assertive but not too aggressive. And that's where we talk about strategies on how to promote yourself and how to set boundaries. Be direct in a way that's not going to get you canned. January, I have a New Year deal going on that's $140 off any of these. The link in my bio if you want to secure that. There's also a link to book a 20-minute call with me if you want more information on what these are and to see if they're a good fit.